Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I am Harbinger, the Pentagenarian. I am a 56-year-old veteran that enjoys watching music videos and reacting to them or reviewing them. And today I am going to do one that a lot of people have asked me about. They've asked me to react/review it. I have seen this before, but it was over a year ago. So I am going to rewatch this and see how it impacts me this time around and give a little more insight into it and my thoughts involving this particular song than I did the first time around. So, that being said, this is going to be Ren performing Hi Ren. All right, this is 9 minutes and 19 seconds, so get a snack, go potty, do whatever you need to do ahead of time because we're not going to stop. We're going to go straight through this, and I'm not going to put the closed caption on because the last time I did, it totally butchered the lyrics. So follow along with me because once you get past the accent, it's very clear what he's saying.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect at always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one, so you see. You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious. Eminem did it. Played on guitar. Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves. And I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking god complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to ask for you, say it instead of downplay it.
Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus.
Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal, feeble and normal. You wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, Ren. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs. That I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that me to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side. When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
Respect. Let's talk about that. I cannot stress how important this song is. In 9 minutes, Ren takes us on a journey through his psyche. He exposes the rawness of what it means to live within his skin. Those that write with blood, the phrase that Nietzsche used to describe the people that wrote with spirit. And that's what Ren does. He writes with blood. He does what one of the preeminent influencers of modern thought stated must be done, and that is write with blood. Apart from the actual content of this song, musically and performance wise, this is a masterpiece. Why is it a masterpiece? I lost count, but I think I missed probably 3 or 4. So I'm just going to add 3 to this total. There were 24 transitions back and forth between the different personalities of, say, light versus dark. This was performed as a single performance, with him both playing the guitar, doing the spoken word or singing, if you will. And it was done with just that, a guitar, several cameras, and a performance. There are not many people, I believe, that could do 9 minutes of back and forth the way he did this. And then through the entire conversation, you see the dark side, in a way, losing ground. It starts off where he is discussing the reasons why they shouldn't see each other as much anymore. And the dark side starts to sell itself. And once the dark side starts to sell itself, the good side begins to become defensive. Then there's a back and forth. It goes from demeaning to defending, and there's a definition of what it is he's doing. Then you go back to the bad side using extremes. You have the good side. It's just this constant back and forth. But what you see eventually is that the desperation that you hear on the light side or the positive side, we'll start using positive and negative. On the positive side, starts getting into more about the drive, the impulse, and the need to seek the positive. And he believes he's helping other people, and he starts laying down the foundations of the final argument. And the last outburst from the negative side lays down all of these extremes as examples. Basically, I was the devil, I was this, I was that, showing the positive side, how important it is to remain there. And the final portion of the song there's almost a acceptance by the positive side. And it's best summed up in one line, which I wrote down, which is, we are the coin with different sides. And that's the thing that everybody needs to remember, for mental health especially, is everybody's going to have down days. Everybody's going to have up days. It's not important whether or not you have an up or down day. The important thing is you need to try to balance them. If you have nothing but down days, then depression will set in. If you have nothing but up days, then you run the risk of becoming overconfident and being crushed in a different way. So by learning to take the lessons we've learned through both the bad and the good is what allows us to become balanced, to create a persona, if you will, of who we are as a person. He does this very well in this song. I also wanted to talk about the fact that the spoken word at the very end of the song, when he talks about what he has struggled through, and he likens everything to a dance. Those words are so true. It is not a fight. This is a give and take, and that's what life is. If you always expect to take from life, eventually life is going to take back. And that is an underlying theme of much of Ren's music. Is he sings a lot about balance and what can happen when a life becomes out of balance. Even with the Tale of Jenny and Screech, that is a song that shows you what happens when lives become out of balance, because they did not dance with with the good and the bad. They instead concentrated on just the bad. And it's easy to do, because when you're down, nothing seems like it's ever going to go right again. It happens to all of us. And if you're out there struggling at this moment, hey, I suffer from depression. I take meds for it. I'm also 56, and I've learned how to cope with this over the years by always putting my head down and just getting to the next day. I have had ADD my entire life, and I was only diagnosed about 15 years ago. So I dealt 40 years with that conflict and that inability to focus. I have meds for that as well. These are things, this is no longer a stigma. This is no longer a curse. These are things that can be treated. If you come from a family that poo-poos upon it or tells you that it's all in your head, yes, it is. And part of what's in your head may be a chemical imbalance. And that needs to be examined, and that needs to be taken care of, and that needs to be treated. Now, is there a panacea for all ills? No, there is no magic pill. Um, if you ever go to a counselor who tells you that, oh, yeah, you take this and you'll feel better, leave. Don't take a thing they tell you, and don't do what they tell you, because they are trying to fix you on the spot. And I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is there is no fix. There is no take this pill and you're going to feel better. Take this drug and you're going to get so high that the world isn't going to matter. This does not exist, because it's all based upon lies. Everybody wants to feel better. Here, I've got something for that. Feeling good, feeling right, once you're down, once you've experienced things like this, requires time and effort on your part. You need to take care of yourself. You need to find someone to talk to. If it's a counselor who just wants to walk you through things, that's fine. But overall, you need to be very careful, because the general push of the mental health community is to treat you forever. They don't want to cure you. And sometimes there are things that you will need to speak to someone constantly. You might start off 2 or 3, 4 times a month, and eventually you might get it down to 3 or 4 times a year. But if there's help available, get it. Now, I know personally one of the hardest things in the world to do is find that help. But don't give up. Do not give up. Never stop examining yourself to find out what's really wrong. If you do not feel good about yourself, why? If it's other people, then my only recommendation is don't let other people tell you what to feel about yourself. Do not make challenges. One of the things that Ren talks about in this is the challenge or the crying out in the room saying, bring it on. Don't do that. I'm telling you right now, from personal experience, do not say, give me all you got to the world. Because if it does, it will crush you. And you will have problems. And you will have to take 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much effort to dig yourself out of that hole. It's just life. It's just the way things are. And at some point, you will reach, and I promise you this, you will reach that point when you find balance. Because once you find that balance, you're going to live with less stress in your life. Because you're going to understand the actual impact that all of this petty BS that is thrown at us day after day, it is just that. It is petty BS. Be your own person. Define who you are. You do that. No one else does. Your parents don't do it. Your friends don't do it. Nobody. You define who you are. And it took, for Ren, 10 years after diagnosis to get through all this. And now he understands that. This is a dance. This is a balancing act. This is juggling. Right? When you get to a point where, and this is a story, I had paid off a car. 3 days after I paid off the car, it was wintertime, I hit a patch of ice and slid it into a patch of trees on the side of the road. Hit an electric fence. Totaled the car. I got out of the vehicle laughing. And I had people tell me, oh, well, you were in shock. And I wasn't in shock. I was laughing because of the complete absurdity of the situation. I would have never thought 3 days before that when I pay off this car, I'm going to wreck it 3 days later. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Should it have pissed me off? Yeah, and it did because it put me through some hardship. But if I had dwelled on the fact that I had just paid this off and I threw, quote unquote, threw $4,800 out the window, I could have spiraled very easily. But that's what I'm asking you to do, is look at something absolutely insane like that and find the humor in it. Find the moment of just absurdity and embrace it. Embrace the madness, as some people might say. Because what are the chances? 1 in a billion? Who knows? But it is so ridiculous that I had to laugh. That's what I want everybody to think about who might get this far in this reaction. Sometimes you just have to let it go. You have to let it go. Because remember, there are only 2 things that you encounter, 2 types of hardships in life. There are, there are problems and there are situations. A problem, by definition, has a solution. Why it's a problem. You can do something about it. You can solve it. Problems are meant to be solved. Then there's a situation. A situation you have no control over. If you are in a neighborhood that is going to get rocked by a hurricane, that's your situation. Nothing you can do about it. The problem is, what are you going to do to save yourself, save your family, get your house set up and shuttered up for the storm? But the storm itself is not the problem. That's the situation. You cannot solve that. Stop worrying about it and start addressing each of the problems. Does this make sense, or am I just blowing smoke out my butt? Because if I am, let me know in the comments below. But I feel that this song is very, very important, and that's why I'm talking, holy Christ, like 14 minutes afterwards, because this is an important song. It is a life lesson teaching song. It is talking about the thought process that we go through in our heads to problem solve, to look at the world around us. And Ren has it down. He did an absolutely fantastic job with the dialogue between his positive and negative selves, and the performance itself, like I said, absolutely phenomenal. He went on for 9 minutes, did over 24 transitions between positive and negative, didn't miss a beat, did it with a single mic, about, I'm going to guess, 3 or 4 cameras with a one take, and then stood up afterwards and explained what it was he was saying. And I think one of the best things, one of the best analogies that he talked about was the pendulum swinging back and forth. That the brighter the light shines, the darker the shadows are. And once you understand that, once you internalize it, you can look out for it. You can be prepared for it. Because if you are 10 miles high, then that means you can fall 10 miles. Now, I'm not saying never go 10 miles high. What I'm saying is if you go 10 miles high, don't be surprised if you fall 10 miles. You got to prepare for it. Because if you feel on top of the world, something can happen like that. And then you're down in the dumps. That's the pendulum. That is life. It is the human condition. I'm going to stop there. I've talked enough. I'm going to let you digest what Ren had to say. I'm going to let you digest what I had to say. In the meantime, until the next time I drop a video, I want you all to take care of yourselves. I want you to be good to each other and kind to each other. I want you to do your best to not be a dick, because the world has enough of them. And I'm going to head out. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.